Okay. All right. Well, you mentioned that 47 years of coaching now. 46. I'm sorry. I won't give you one more year, but 46 years of coaching. What's been, looking back? I mean, it's a loaded question, but what are some of the things you look back fondly on, and what you're proud about?
I got to live my dream.
Yeah.
I mean, that's. I probably couldn't sum it up any better than that. I think that, I work as a business consultant. I do sports injury cases. So I work with these lawyers, and I go to court, and these guys they go, man, I'd give anything. And I said, but you can't. Yeah, you give up your $150,000, $250,000 a year job, sign on to somebody's team, go to clinics for 20, 30 years, learn the sport inside and out, learn the psychology, learn how to deal with parents, learn what educational systems are all about and how they work. And yeah, you could do this too. And by the way, get ready to spend 20 hours a weekend breaking down films and doing game plans, and handling kids' issues and social issues and problems and social media now and everything else that's turned up under the sun into this new age, and all the political issues that go with it. And you have to love it. You have to love it. And most importantly, you have to have that relationship with the kids as your prime goal. That has to be it. And if it's not that, there's going to be times you're going to go through coaching woes. You're going to lose games. You're going to lose games you shouldn't lose. You're going to get upset. You're going to blow games. A kid's going to pull something on you that you never expected in a million years. And all those things are going to happen, and they can't weigh you down. They can't bring you down. Because every coach that's been in this business a long time, I'll tell you, who got out, says the wins weren't enough to keep me in. The pain of losing is what took me out. Well, I don't have that issue because I have a life outside of football. I've been almost 49 years of marriage. I've loved my career as a teacher, but I get off on my contact with the kids and helping them and becoming an important person in their success path in their personal life. I mean, the people complain about social media. I think it's a godsend. I'm in touch with thousands of kids that I coach, students that I had in class for different things. I was a newspaper editor. My student editor, the newspaper advisor. My student editor and I are close friends because of the internet and are able to keep on contact and things like that. I have friends in coaching literally all over the world, in Europe and Japan and Australia and Iceland. I did a clinic in Iceland this last spring, and it's just an incredible gift if you use it properly, if you use it right, and just like any other tool, and the contact with the kids and being able to be an important person in their life, that's what keeps you going. And so as we start to approach, I'm not a young kid anymore, and as you start to approach, the twilight, you start to look at things a little bit differently, but I got to live my dream. And I always wanted to be a player, but size, relative athletic abilities, all the different things. It just didn't work out that way. And Ray Graves, who was the head coach at the University of Florida, called me aside because when I couldn't play anymore, he kept me on as a student assistant, and I learned the inside out. And he put his arm around me one day and he said, "Son, you're going to make a hell of a ball coach someday." And that was the term he used. So when you hear Steve Smurger talk about ball coach, I know where that came from because I was in the room when it was said about me too. And I never thought it was possible. I left. My parents wanted to be a lawyer, and I started law school, and I left to become a football coach and a teacher. I've never looked back, and I've never regretted it. And in their waning years before they died, both my parents had the wonderful opportunity to sit me down and talk to me and tell me, "You made the right choice. You did what was best for you."
Well, the fact that you've been to so many different places, coaching-wise, and you mentioned clinics, but the coaching aspect of it, you've been to different schools, and each one of them you've been able to excel. So, I mean, what can you take from that you've been able to go to places where they've been down, and you've been able to build them up, like the Santa Rita, Pima College, things like that?
Yeah, I've never taken over a team that was a winner. Never. I never had that pleasure. I bet Pima College was started out of the dirt. USA Today tells me I'm the only coach they've ever been able to research that had 3 different 0-10 teams that went to the playoffs in their first year. I tell them I'm the craziest guy you know. Who would take over 3 0-10 teams? I don't know. You know, but Savino was 1-9. CDO was 3-7. Those were the team in Oregon was 0-20. Another team in Oregon hadn't been in the playoffs in 40 years. In my second year, we were in the playoffs. I wish there was a magic formula that I could tell you about, but it's a combination of grinding, hard work. It's a combination of getting the right people in the right places, surrounding yourself with the right people, biting your tongue sometimes to listen to them. I've gotten a lot better at that over the ages. It's never been a strong suit for me. I know what it looks like. I know what I want it to be. I'm dead set in my ways. I go to work for people that support what I want to offer because they understand that everything I do is educationally based. It's not just about wins. Yeah, I like to win, but it's not just that. That's a cheap shot. You know, it's easy to say when you've won, but when people are on the inside, you go to my administrators that I've worked with, and every one of them, every single one of them was a great administrator in their own right, and I learned from them. I mean, there's no one better than Dr. Carl Roberts when I was at Savino, you know, and watching that guy operate a school to change a whole school around. Compare a football team, that's nothing. You change a whole school around, change the whole culture on a campus. That's something, and you learn from those people. You know, when we first started, you know, Pima College football, you know, watching the chancellor at that time, you know, and how I learned from him and watching how he operated and worked the board to get football in place and that type of stuff. I mean, there's stuff to learn every single place that you go, and you know, I go into these schools. And I'll do a clinic for Bigger, Faster, Stronger. And I've been over 1,000 high schools for them. And you see the good